Okay, so whenever you want, you can just get prologue out of the way. Not a whole lot to say with prologue.
Just go ahead and start.
Yeah, just go right ahead. We'll start prologue, and then we'll do the countdown in at the postcard screen for City. We got Bad and Frug. Bad v Frug here. Again, prologue is just using these little hops to maximize your speed. And then at this level, you're going to see them trying to do maybe even do little corner boosting, little baby corner boosts.
Yep, no dramas from either in the prologue section.
Nice little casual 29 for Yelov. And okay, let's get to the postcard screens, and I'll give you the countdown. Okay, here we go. This is where the run starts. Truly. Good luck to both runners. Here we go. Forsaken City begins in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Here we go, guys. This is Forsaken City. Done really fast.
Yep. Very easy to do casually, very difficult to do in an optimized situation. As you can see already, a couple of minor mistakes going on from some of the more technical strats that you can do. Trying for the reverse over crossing there, which is quite a tricky strat. Gets it again.
Yeah, this
Jack getting that first time.
Runners of this speed, the strats that they're doing are very exacting, very difficult, and you're going to see any mistakes at this level are more significant than the earlier, especially the first race when if you're just learning to speedrun this game and you know your best time is maybe an hour, 50 minutes. You can get away with a lot more. But when you're trying to keep this kind of speed, any death is significant, some more than others.
Yeah, exactly. Some of these screens aren't too long, but some of them can be quite costly in terms of death.
Both runners now. The final climb, this tricky, can be tricky, neutral jump up the left side. Wow, both players through really quickly.
Very respectable times from both. So you can see from the journals, not much more than 1 to 2 seconds difference there. 155 from Jack and a 157 from Yelov.
Yep, this is to be expected between this and Old Site. You're not going to see, probably not going to see huge differences in times until we get to Celestial Resort. So runners, whenever you're ready, let's get to the postcard screens. I'll count you down into Old Site. Okay, looks like we're ready. Let's get into it. Old Site begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
So Sight again is relatively straightforward in terms of complexity casually, but introduces some complexity from a speed perspective. There are a lot of different ways that you can mess up strats. A lot of spikes introduced, a lot of narrow gaps to go through. Nice little strat which Yelov gets there just to skip a bit of time getting into that dream block, manipulating the position of the cutscene there, and same from Jack again. And they both start the ascent up through the now activated dream blocks.
Yeah, very nice stuff. And you can see here at this level again, it's not only are they hitting strats, but they're chaining everything together, room to room, screen to screen, doing their best to maintain momentum and keep the speed going.
Absolutely. Both players now into the battle and chase section, where you first meet battling properly, start to chase you down a few seconds after every movement that you perform, which can be quite off-putting, especially when you're first learning it. But obviously at this level the players can basically act as if Madeline doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
Just flying past things way before she can get to you.
She definitely feels like she exists in these last two screens, which you can see Yelov at now, taking a death there at the... this is a tricky strat to pull off. Multiple ways to do it, but there we go. Nicely done there. And Jack able to close the gap there by first timing it.
Yeah, and into a very long and potentially very costly room. Especially that cycle at the bottom of the room there, avoiding the Badlands. Very well done there by Jack.
Jack, nicely done. Yelov having to take another stab at it. And now the famous awake section, which seems like innocuous to casual runners, but speed runners know that this section is legendary. Hey, Jakuza, welcome in.
I'm like, hey, what's up?
Jakuza says, any frugs in chat?
Yep, Awaker section's been very heavily optimized recently. Obviously, as many of you know, Marlin put a good 6 hours into this to save a good few seconds, which is the kind of optimization you get at that level of speedrunning, but both players looking relatively comfortable through that.
Nice, really quick stuff here. Very smooth old site. Let's see what the books tell us. What do we got, Chris?
So, we currently have Jack with a 13 to 14 second lead with a 4:02, with Yelov and a 4:15. So still very close. Resort coming up, which could change everything.
Absolutely. Okay, runners, when you're ready to get to those postcard trains, we'll count it down and get into Resort. Looks like we're ready. Okay, here we go. Let's drop in. 3, 2, 1, go. Resort can change anything. It is truly where the run begins, I think.
Absolutely, it's the first very technical challenge in the casual game. Causes a lot of people problems casually when they go through this level. All the cycles, all of the things to avoid. But again, at this level, you start to see strats that just completely ignore the presence of the meatballs, if you will. Yelov there going for a very quick strat, just missing it, clipping into meatball.
Yeah, this first room is deceptively difficult to speedrun.
The little frustrated hops there.
Frustration bounces. There it is, nice.
There it is.
Thing of beauty. So again, it's a constant battle for speedrunners between, going for a fast strat that you've been practicing and maybe you're struggling with, or deciding to abandon the strat and play it safe, and you're constantly, I think myself included, just constantly in an internal struggle as to, am I going to try this speed strat again and potentially miss it, or should I just abandon it and just get through the section? It's a constant struggle.
Yeah, and a lot of these rooms, as you've seen so far, are heavily cycle-based, and as we've mentioned a few times here before, obviously if you die within the room, the cycles will be different that time, so you've got two choices. You either need to learn the death cycle, which is a second version of doing the room, or you need to back out and do the room again, so you might see a difference of approach if any deaths do occur.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and Jack here with the lead after that struggle in the first room from Yelov, and he's down to clean up the first section.
Yep, at this level you should see both runners taking the same path through. Jack successfully cleans up the first section, whilst Yelov is just entering.
And anybody in chat interested in joining the Moonberry Cup, !Moon will bring up link and details. We try to make it open to anyone who's into speedrunning, any percent. You just have to have a time around an hour. And !Discord, if you want to join my Discord. It's somehow I've been lucky enough to get some of the best speedrunners in the world in my Discord, and also some of the best people, and they will absolutely help you no matter what your goal. If you're aiming for 1 hour, 1 hour 10, 35 minutes, there's something for everybody. So I encourage you to pick up this game if you've never thought about speedrunning a game. This is absolutely, I think, one of the best games to speedrun.
100%, yeah. So Jack just into the last section now with Big Mess, cleaning up those towels. Yelov again, just about to jump in, so still about a section's difference. As Jack makes his way into the elevator shaft. There from Yelov we saw an example of resetting the cycle. It's quite a tricky room to do if you don't know the death cycle as well.
Yeah, you'll see players doing this where they'll leave the screen and come back for the same reason that Chris mentioned earlier, just being real familiar with the standard cycle and not so much with the death cycle. Okay, Jack right now going to attempt the Bubs drop here. I mean, demo dash. Again, really precise trick where you're really trying to line yourself up with a good starting point, and then you're doing a special kind of a dash, which is kind of compressing your body. There you go. Jack is through.
Yep, I think that was 4th attempt from Jack, so an opportunity for Yellow to catch a bit of time up here. As Jack enters Ashiro, chasing along the rooftops, being chased by a very angry Ashiro. This is another cycle base. You've got 2 cycles to deal with now. You've got the Dust Bunny cycles and the Ashiro cycles, which can make this very tricky, especially if your strats don't quite go to plan.
Yeah, and it's always amazing to watch speedrunners just tear through this section, remembering how difficult it was casually, and even remembering how to, speedrun when you're first learning. It's really, really tough, and Jack just making it look really easy right now. So far, it's been flawless. The final screen is gonna really show us if he's vibing.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, good demo there from Yellow at the bottom there, catching a bit of time up.
Yep, nicely done. Yelov now into the Oshiro section, and a really extremely smooth Oshiro section for Jack.
Very nicely done. Oh, good backup there from Yellow, not getting the extension off the hyper, but using the spring to still avoid the Oshiro bop.
That was a 519 from Jack.
Very nicely done.
Pretty good.
Okay, you kicked ass. Keep it up. Also, is it Chris the commentator? That's
Aquarium says he's been practicing Resort a lot lately. Well, it shows. Really good stuff from both runners.
Yep, very good through the last screen with very little drama.
Zero Counts Live says, great Resort, Jack. What's up, Zero Counts Live?
I'm like, hey, what's up, hello?
Thanks, Zero.
So, we have a 9:22 from Jack and a 10:36 currently from Yellow, so about a minute and 14 seconds or so difference, but with many more chapters where that could completely change, so this is still very much a race.
Absolutely, including Golden Ridge, which we're about to hop into. Captain Pio Card in the house. What's up, Captain? We're about to drop into Golden Ridge. Let's get ready. In 3, 2, 1, go. I love Golden Ridge. Don't you love Golden Ridge, Chris?
As a speedrunner, yes. As a casual player, absolutely not. Yeah, like we've touched on a couple of times already, a few mechanics introduced here. You've seen the clouds, you've seen the bubbles. later on we will see our good friend the Wind, which is a casual player's nightmare.
Yeah, you can see Jack here using, and Yelov here actually using the, oh, very nicely done there. Ultra-ing through that screen and using the corner boost as well. These are all really advanced mechanics that these guys are stringing together in order to get through this game as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah, absolutely. In speedrunning, your transitions from screen to screen are particularly important, but that's especially the case in Ridge when you've got factors like wind to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Strange death from Yelov at the end of the Archie there. Jumping straight into the spikes.
Oof.
And again.
Wow, this is what we call the negative side of muscle memory.
There we go. Through it third time.
He's through nice.
Jack getting a nice spike jump up there.
It was spicy.
It was a spicy spike jump.
It was a spicy jump. Yelov right behind, closing the gap. You're gonna see some fast stuff happening on Jack's screen right here, where he uses this block's momentum to push him way across. Normally you would ride that block across the screen, but that's kind of slow. So if you want to see it again, you're gonna see on Yelov's screen here something similar.
Oh, Yelov going for the ultra strat, not quite working out.
Yeah, that's a tricky maneuver there. A little bit safer to do just the let the block push you, but you can ultra off of this moving block and get some real speed. And another aspect of racing, especially, is especially when you got a couple of idiots jamming in your ear and telling you where you're at. But if you're behind, you may try to do some more risky maneuvers in order to make up time. Versus when you're ahead, you can just kind of play it safe. So it's a constant balance.
Yep, perfect example of that from Jack, taking the casual route through that room. There are faster ways to skip some of the auto-scroller section, but just opting to take it safe. Ooh. Bit of trouble with the wind on that very thin platform there from Jack, but looks to be... Oh. Saved it again. Off cycle with the wind, but makes it through with the casual strat.
Nicely done, and Jack, first one to cliff face, yep.
So cliff face is where the wind really picks up, completely in your face. You have to utilize a lot of dashes, hyper dashes, wave dashes, all the momentum you can possibly use to combat the wind. And you'll see a lot of that from Jack going through these screens.
And just a lot going on here. The wind, you've got these snowballs flying at you. You've got crumble blocks and trampolines and just a whole lot. And these players are making it look easy.
Absolutely. Jack looking very smooth so far.
Okay, Yelov now. You're going to see a cool strat here. He's going to try to ultra off this block and squeeze through a narrow gap. Nicely done.
Very nicely done. Also going for the top route through that room. Nicely done.
That's a 328 for Jack. Extremely nice ridge as we send all of our good vibes to Yelov here for a nice clean finish. Carrarium sending energy. Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, this is a deceptively tricky route. A lot of very narrow windows and platforms to line yourself up with.
Palm Top sending energy. Marker sending energy. Cade sending energy. Geo sending energy. Welcome in, guys. Thanks again for being here. 7th ever Moonberry Cup races, any percent races. We now have over 50 members in the participating in the Moonberry Cup. We are nearly through the first cycle where we've gotten everyone a chance to race. As we wrap that up, we'll head into who knows, rematches. A lot of people have gotten faster, so we're gonna have to probably re-rank some people and set up some new matches, maybe some rematches. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, a lot of change. We've had quite a few PBs within runs as well, including today as well, which is very good.
That's right, PGR had a big PB.
Did a good 3 minutes, and there we go. Yelov laps the bridge.
GG. Both runners through now. Yelov said he's beyond tilted, and his brain is actually fried. Well, we've all been there, man. Don't worry. Sometimes that's helpful. You know, at a certain point, you just say, you know, this run's done, and then you just start playing really smooth and quick. Okay, let's
just a quick glance at the books there. About a 3 minute difference currently.
Yep. Let's get ready to go to Mirror Temple here, and we are going to be seeing both players run B side. Okay, looks like we're ready to go into Mirror Temple, my favorite stage. Let's get it in 3, 2, 1, go. Terrarium in chat says it's when you don't care about the run gets really good. Exactly. I know I've heard stories of runners who, you know, are losing time on their splits, and then, you know, they kind of just gave up on it, and next thing you know, they're gold splitting. So it definitely is a mental phenomenon. Both players now executing the Ickle skip perfectly.
2 Ickle skips. I am very proud, man.
Named after our co-commentator Ickle Chris, who named them after himself like 2 weeks ago.
100% made up.
100%. But it's the only thing I'll ever call it now. Palm Top says, bless the Ickle skip.
Jack there getting the first half of the depth corner boost.
Yeah, that's a cool trick because even if you don't, you can get all kinds of percentages of it. That's the way I look at it. You can get a, you know, 50% might boost you across half the screen, and 80% you may get all the way to the edge of the screen, and the 100% obviously you have to corner boost into the second screen, but all of those percentages are faster than the casual strat, so not a lot of downside to attempting that one.
Both players neck and neck now in the tape room.
Yep, a little bit of struggle from both players actually to get through this tape room. Jack checking the binos just to make sure what's no surprises ahead. Okay, nice tape grab from both players, and we're going to Temple B.
Yep. Very similar times for the tape grab from both players in the end there. A few deaths, as we saw.
Yeah, I should have mentioned you guys can just go right into Temple B when you're ready, and you both did, so that's fine. But I'll try to remember that next time. Yeah, what are we looking for in Temple B here, Chris?
Temple B has a lot of very precise movement. You can see here that there are a lot of very narrow corridors with the bubbles, a lot of very precise small platforms to use. And there are at least a couple of very significant skips, which we're about to see on Yelov's screen. The first example of that, the Bubs drop, where we're going to see him try to go up and back down again through this one-way transition. Excellently performed.
Nicely done.
To retry.
Nicely
and
done.
Manipulate
Both players.
The respawn point.
That's a very precise trick, as Chris mentioned, and really tough to get first try. It's a lot of, it's a big feel trick. You really have to practice it and just get a feel for it. There's not a lot of visual cues or audio cues, but just comes down to practice.
Exactly. Just saw the second example of a relatively significant skip from Jack there, just jumping up through the spike corridor.
Quick update on a poll in chat. Which Ickle is the best Ickle? Ickle skip, Ickle dash, Ickle jump, or Ickle Chris? Ickle Chris dominating the poll with 93% of voters believing that Ickle Chris is the best Ickle.
I honestly don't know what to say.
Neither do I. Okay, Jack is through. Ooh, and Yelov taking a death there. Not a huge loss, time loss there, considering there's a checkpoint.
Yeah, that spike jump is deceptively tricky again. You've got to be very careful to avoid any horizontal inputs during the jump to avoid eating spike.
Okay, now you're going to see Jack making his way through this Seeker section. A lot of interesting speed strats on display here. And nicely done, Yelov is also through.
Jack with the nice strat there in that Seeker room. It's quite tricky to execute that one.
Yeah, very nicely done.
As we now enter Mixmaster, Theo time. Shout outs to Theo. Very misunderstood character. I know, at least from my perspective, this room that Jack's in now causes me a lot of trouble. There are a lot of very precise inputs required to avoid both falling but also hitting Seekers there, so it's good to get that on the second try.
Yeah, nicely done. And now Yelov 2 into the Seeker section here.
And Jack here demonstrating the inherent danger of the gauntlet room. As soon as any strat goes wrong and you have to improvise, there is a lot that can go wrong.
Exactly right. Like we talked earlier about how momentum can change, and if you make a mistake, you kind of lose your momentum. You have to scramble. So that's yeah, no better place to showcase it than that Seeker gauntlet there.
Jack with the bold strategy there of trying to progress without Theo. Had to go back and get him in the end.
Pensivian in chat. What's up, Pensivian? How's it going? For reference, what are their PBs? I think both their PBs are in the low to mid 30s.
I believe so, yes.
Mine's a 35-17.
There you go, 35-17. And SicklyJack wrapping up a great Mirror Temple B.
Oh,
Ooh, Yelov.
Theo did not want to play ball.
No, these Seekers are not messing around today.
Very cleanly done the second time.
And that was a 532 Mirror Temple for SicklyJack. And remember, that includes 5A up until the tape grab, and then the rest of 5B. Corarium, I can't believe this madman actually named his file Frug.
The frog is indeed cursed.
Just wait until Summit.
I don't know the Frug. I don't get the Frug reference, guys.
Frug is cursing my Summit.
Frug means cursing your summit. Okay. Yelov. We've all been there, man. Don't worry.
I can 100% relate, Yelov.
Can relate. Relate.
Yes, 100%. So, taking a quick look at the books here, we've got an 18:25 time currently from Jack and a 22:48 from Yelov.
All right, let's get into reflection, guys. Okay, and it looks like both runners are ready. Let's drop into reflection in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, Carrie says Frug is a song? A great song?
Great's an interesting word.
Yes, it's a very subjective opinion.
Race nerves are real. The other thing, too, about it is, and depending on how you practice, is going to affect you differently, but a lot of runners are just used to being able to reset, and you know, if you are having a bad stage, you can always just kind of reset your whole run, and it's kind of a clean slate. But here in the race format, there's no resets, and you got to kind of you got to stick it out.
Absolutely. So in reflection, we're seeing some new mechanics here. We've seen feathers, we've seen Kevin blocks. Feathers are a very divisive mechanic, to say the least, but basically allowing you to just fly through the air for a limited amount of time, which you'll see used a lot. There's a lot of optimization you can do with feathers to either skip other feathers or just generally to move fast.
Yeah, and the other noteworthy thing for me about feathers is a lot of players, like controller players, usually play using the D-pad, and then they'll use the analog stick to negotiate the feathers. The reason being the analog stick has 360 degrees of motion, just like the feathers. Much easier to move around with them than it would be the D-pad. But that in itself is kind of like an interesting change, because you physically you have to move your fingers from the D-pad to the analog stick and back, so it definitely comes into play. But we have a keyboard player here, I think. Jack's keyboard player, right? Or Yelov?
I know Jack is controller.
Okay.
I'm not sure about Yellow.
I'd be curious about the like the universal statistics of you know, controller versus keyboard players for speedruns.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's actually available. It'll be interesting.
Yellow taking bottom route here. Both players actually bottom route. Bottom route gang represented.
Bottom route gang represent.
I'm a top router myself, so let's try to keep the rivalry to a minimum here. Skills is top route gang. The great Skeleton Man, welcome in, my dude. What's up, Skelly? How are you? Yelov is keyboard and Jax is controller. Okay, thanks, Gio. Wow, and we are like neck and neck here as we make our way towards the battle and fight.
Yeah, interesting to see who takes which route through this room, this very dangerous, spiky room.
Looks like both players on the same route.
Very nicely done.
Expertly navigated. Geoduck representing bottom route. Metagloria, any truth to the rumor that me and April Chris are racing all seasides after this?
Fake news.
That's fake news. Okay, here we go. This is a big old yeet. You guys are going to see some real speed on your screens in just a second. Meow.
Very nicely done by both, and they are incredibly in sync right now.
Hey Ya's in chat. It's the Hey Ya battle.
So yeah, as we said in the last race as well, widely navigated as one of people's favourite, if not at least high up there sections to speedrun.
Yeah.
Extremely smooth, very nice to transition, very nice to learn, very nice to execute. And when it goes well, it's just an excellent part of the game to run fast.
Absolutely, and fun to watch. Whoa. Yelov with some lightning speed through that screen. Wow.
Very nice. Yeah, this section's very heavily dependent on micro optimizations in a lot of sections. A lot of very small either changes of direction of dashes or cutting of corners with feathers, just to get every possible frame you can.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's another thing, I just want to point out again, just the level of skill at which both these runners play the game is really, really impressive. Yeah, it's a product of many, many, many hours of practice.
here we see Jack now making the transition into the second section of the Badlin fight, where Badlin gets just a little bit more angry and starts throwing terrain around, making things a little bit more complicated.
So again, what we're seeing here is each room has its own strats for going fast, and runners are trying to chain all that together. So just room after room of strats. Some very tricky and intricate. Others are more lenient, allowing them to kind of catch their breath. But yeah, Jack now into the final screen of the Badlin fight. Just has to avoid a laser or two, and he's through. And Yelov as well into the final screen.
It's been a very smooth reflection from both players in general. Yelov not far behind at all.
Yep, and then the final section here. Each player is going to grab power up, which is a second dash, and then the rest of this stage is just a leisurely climb to the top, trying to optimize speed as much as possible.
That was actually a reflection PB for me.
Wow, gold split reflection.
Very nice.
Love to see that. The Moonberry Cup bringing out the best in the runners here. GG to both runners. Reflection is done.
Yep, once again, a very smooth reflection from both players there. So that's a 25.08 for Jack and a 29.53 for Yellow. So let's have a good summit race.
Okay, whenever you're ready, guys, go ahead and start summit.
So Summit, once again, an amalgamation of all of the sections you visited so far in the run. The law being that you've been thrown back down to the bottom of the mountain. In Reflection, you made up with Badlin. You've joined forces, which is why you have 2 dashes. And now you'll see both players slowly making their way back up the mountain through each section, but using the back route this time, which leads to a much faster climb.
The back route, is that the lore?
That's at least how I understand it. I don't know if that's true, but I understood it as you can now take the back route because you have 2 dashes, which you couldn't before. I could be completely wrong, but that's how I liked it.
I like that. Okay, both players now into 500 meters. And again, you're going to see just nothing but movement optimization here. You're going to see wall bounces on every wall possible. You're going to see everything. Corner boosts.
Absolutely. Again, each of these screens more difficult than their original A-side equivalent, but they all have good strats to get through. And again, a lot of dependency on chaining strats together to get through each transition.
Yeah.
There's a good example there from Yelov doing a hyper bunny hop through, so you can skip some springs at the start of that room there.
Okay, both players wrapping up 500 meters. Jack is the first to 1,000. Missed a key there, but nice save.
Yeah, looking pretty smooth through this section. Nicely done by Yelov there with the spring skip. Could be quite a tricky one to do properly. And now we see Jack enter 1500 meters, which is the resort section of Summit, which very similar to the original resort chapter in chapter 3 is very difficult casually, but can be made to look so easy. With
Yeah, I love this section when it's cooperating and it's smooth. Jack now onto a big screen that can give you a lot of trouble, but he's handling it well. PK Blaze in the chat.
I'm like, hey, what's up, hello?
What's up, PK? Oh, I love this screen Jack is on now. Zipped right through it. I'm having some Twitch delay issues, but I could tell he made it through there with no problems.
Very nicely done. Such a fun strat to do as well.
Ooh.
Smoothly done by
Ooh.
Jack.
Ooh. Yelov. Giving me a heart attack here. Wow. You see
Nice
both players
berry from Jack there.
breaking the ground. That's kind of a secret path here, casually. But I think most runners take it. Jack struggling a bit here on this windy screen.
This is the only screen, thankfully, that the Yetis have managed to find, so it's the only screen with snowballs.
That's true. Let's see which path he takes through here. He's gonna do, okay. Using the auto-scroller block to propel him through the stage. Nicely done.
Very nice.
And
Bit of
Yelov
trouble on the
wrapping up.
last screen. For Yelov. Quite a tricky little wall bounce there, just to skip the need to transition to get up to the top route here. Yelov. Oh.
Ooh.
Such a horrible feeling being stuck on the wall with the wind going against you there. Nothing you can do.
Nothing. Yeah, he can't do anything. Yelov displaying some real fast strats here.
Absolutely, going for the skip as well.
Going for blockless. We know the feeling of frustration when just the run's not coming together.
Yeah, and this is a very precise trick at the best of times.
Yelov just going to show us some strats here. Really tight window there to get through.
Oh, there are so many things that can go wrong with this strat. It's so precise.
SicklyJack says, just say no to doors in 2020.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
You have to do door skip. Has to do door skip. What is a door? What even is a door?
Oh,
Okay, Jack into the final climb and having a great run. Let's send all our love and energy to both runners. Both runners needing it for different reasons here.
on a very good pace. We're all behind you, Yelov. So again, Jack in the downdraft section of Summit, very contentious updraft versus downdraft,
Oh yeah.
but navigating it very cleanly.
Ooh, Jack going for a tricky little gem grab strat there where you dash before this gem and you keep both your dashes. Makes it a little easier to navigate this last section here. There you go, nicely done.
Yeah, very nice. Quite precise. It does save a bit of time.
Hey, is that Brew in the chat?
I'm like, hey, what's up,
What's up, Brew? Welcome in.
Ooh. This is one of those flags that's very long, very costly to suffer and death on. But otherwise looking very smooth. Yelov picking up some good pace now, flying through 2,500 meters. Oh, Yelov. Do you ever retry too early?
We've seen
Very
everything
nicely done.
today.
We really have. Nice strat from Yelov there, just to save a bit of time going around the scary side of that block.
Really good pace for Jack as he clears flag 2.
Very nicely done by Jack, no ickle deaths there.
The Ickle death. Final climb here for Jack on a honestly a monstrous pace.
GG.
Big GG's for Jack. 35-31.
Now direct all of our energy to Yelov for the final climb.
Wow, lots of energy in chat. Palm Top sending energy. J-Roy, Markers, Carrie, Geo. More energy from Carrie, Locke, Smoke Pigs. All the energy to Yelov, who I'm pretty sure would have just restarted this run long ago. But we thank him for sticking it out. Jack, what's are you there with us? What's your PB? This was pretty close, right?
My PB's a 35-17. It was
Wow.
close.
Wow.
Very
I
nice.
think I could have had it if I had a clean summit. I had a couple deaths in 3,000, but I'm happy with it. I'm very happy.
Yeah, that's a great time. And 31 deaths. And you said you had a gold split reflection, right?
Yeah, by like 4 seconds, I think.
You never know which way the competition is gonna affect you. Sometimes it pushes you to a PB. I love seeing PBs. We've had a few of them here. Sometimes it just messes you up, and you know you may may succumb to the pressure, but either way it's a good time. For us anyway, you know. For us watching, it's a good time no matter what.
Yeah, we're looking good through 3,000 so far. Very nice little neutral around the spikes there, quite tricky.
Let's just enjoy these final 10 flags here. Cicera in the house. What's up, sis?
I'm like, hey, what's up, hello?
Okay, final 6. Now you skipped flag 5. Is that a free flag anyway?
It is, yes. You even if you die, you get straight back to that transition anyway. So you can save a good few frames by just skipping that flag completely.
Actually, really fast stuff here from Yelov. Making it look easy.
It's amazing what a difference having the pressure release does. Like you said, different players react differently, but very nicely wrapped up there.
Wow. What a race. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Yelov, SicklyJack, and our co-commentator, Ickle Chris. Thank you guys. GG's in chat. GG's